Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm going to be going in and stuffing all of my sinking funds for the month of September. All of this cash here actually came from August's budget. That's the way I like to do my sinking funds. I save up the money throughout the month of August, and then I stuff it in September, or whatever month it is. So if you're interested in seeing me stuff $1,200 into my sinking funds, just keep on watching. Okay, so I have already done a lot of the work here. I've already figured out how I'm going to break this $1,200 down into each of my sinking funds. I got to do a little bit of work still on my worksheet, and then we'll stuff the envelopes. So this is the little accordion folder that I use to house all of my sinking funds. I like to do my sinking funds in cash because it's tangible. I can hold it in my hand, I can count it, I know it's there. If I put it into a bank account and it becomes an electronic number for me, for whatever reason, it just doesn't compute as easily for me. So I like to keep mine in cash. I do keep all of the cash locked up in a safe so that it's not lost or stolen, so you don't have to worry about that. And I just like to keep it in this little accordion folder. Each of my sinking funds has its own tab in here. I like this one because it's small and compact, but it does stand up on its own to make the stuffing process really easy, or it does if I don't stand it up on an ink pen there. As you can see, it does stand up nicely on its own. Sorry, you can see the reflection of my ring light there. And it just makes it really easy to kind of flip through here, pull out the fund that I need. Inside each of the tabs, I have the cash for the sinking fund, as well as a little index card where I keep track of how much is in the fund, how much I take out, that sort of thing. I also have a little worksheet duo here in my budget planner where I keep track of things. So on this sinking funds page, I keep track of the beginning balance, how much I added at the start of the month, how much I spent throughout the month, and an ending balance. And I use this little worksheet here, the transaction log, which you can see I've already started filling in for the month of September, so I really need to get these funds stuffed, just to keep track of the spending as it happens. And the way that I make it work with my sinking funds is I put everything on a card, a credit card, throughout the month, and then at the end of the month I use the cash from my sinking funds to pay the card. So I've already figured out how much I'm going to put into each of my funds, but I need to really quickly get a beginning balance. So we will do that together, and then we'll stuff the envelopes. So I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see. My apologies for the shadows and how dark it is today. There is not a lick of sunshine here in Southeast Michigan today. It is very, very dreary. But we're making it work with artificial lighting, so hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, so as you can see, these are my sinking funds. I have changed things up a little bit. So this Austin category here at the top used to be school, and that was used for anything for back to school for my kiddo, anything sports related. It slowly became just kind of anything that Austin needed, and so I changed the name to Austin to reflect that. If you're not familiar, Austin's my 14-year-old son. And then you can see here at the bottom where the alphabetical order kind of breaks down. I added our clothing sinking fund back in. I had taken it out last month, and I was just going to try to use my spending money for clothing. However, my husband kindly informed me that he wasn't going to use his spending money for clothing. I needed to put that back. So I did. We added clothing back in, and we'll be stuffing that, using it for clothes for myself and my husband. Anything Austin needs comes out of his Austin category, but the clothing is for my husband and I. So really quickly, I'm just going to go into each of these funds and figure out what our beginning balance is, kind of what we're starting the month with. I've already taken out the cash that I spent in August and paid that card, so the balance on that card is 0 now, or it was at the start of the month. As you saw in my transaction log, I've already kind of started spending for September. So the first category is Austin, and it is starting out empty. We did a ton of back to school shopping last month. You can see it was called school. We had $202 in there, and we spent that full $202 on clothing for back to school. And actually we spent above and beyond that. We pulled it from other sources because he needed more than I thought. So we're starting blank with Austin. So the beginning balance is 0. And let's just go ahead and stuff these as we go so that this video doesn't get too long. So for Austin, the date that we are stuffing is, you know what, I'm just going to call it September 1st, even though today's not technically the 1st, but just for continuity's sake, we're going to deposit $200. And that will give us a total of $200. So I guess I should backtrack a little tiny bit and just count this and make sure I have 1,200. So let's do that really quick. 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 40, 60, 80, 900, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1,000, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1,100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1,200. I got mostly 20s just to make this easy. And I'm just going to kind of set this off to the side here and we'll stuff as we go. So for Austin, we're going to do 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. And we'll just get this right in here. And then next up we have camping. So for camping, we are starting out with $206. And we're going to add 200 today. That should give us a total of 406. Let me zoom you guys out just a touch, just to make this a little bit easier to get everything in frame here. There we go. So we're going to add 200. My apologies for my neighbor mowing his lawn. He always chooses the most inopportune times to mow his lawn. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. And that should give us a total of 406. All right, so now I'm just going to count this up and make sure that I have 406. So we have 20, 40, 60, oops, these are getting stuck together, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is 406. And that takes care of camping. All right, so next up then we have car. And car is starting out with $350. And the amount that we're going to add today is 200. I don't know if you guys can see this super well. It's a little bright. Let me just turn the brightness down a little bit. Is that better? Okay, so we're gonna add $200. And give it a total of $550. $20, $40, $60, $80, $1, $20, $40, $60, $80, $2, $3, $4, $5, $550. All right, next up we have Celebrate, which is starting with $40. We're gonna add 20 more today. Give us a total of $60. And that takes care of Celebrate. Next up we have Christmas. Christmas is beginning with $200. We're gonna add 100 more today. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. Perfect. All right, next we have clothing, which is out of order here because I didn't add it in until the end, but we're just gonna hop down to the bottom. It's starting with nothing. We're gonna add $100 today though. For a total of 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay, that takes care of clothing. Skipping down to holidays. It's starting out with $40. We're adding 20 more today. $20, $40, $60. Next up we have home insurance, which is starting with $300. We're gonna add 100 today, and that's gonna bring it up to 400. I'm actually just gonna do the 250s for that. So we have 100, 200, 300, $400. Next we have hunting, and hunting is starting out with $60, and we're gonna add 100 more today. And hunting season is just around the corner, so definitely gonna have to add more to this next month. Make this a priority because hunting season starts next month. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. $20, $40, $60. $160 in hunting. Next up is medical. And medical is starting with $100. Oops, we said we added, or we started with 60 for hunting. Medical is starting with 100. We're gonna deposit 100 more. Nope, we're not. We're gonna deposit 60 more. And that'll give this one a total of 160 as well. $20, $40, $60, $80, $100, $20, $40, $60. And that takes care of medical. Lastly then, we have subscriptions, which are starting with $220. We're going to deposit another $100 for a total of $320. So hopefully I have $100 left here. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I do indeed. Plus 100, 200, 250, 300, 320. So that is perfect. All right, my friends, so that is all of my sinking funds stuffed for the month. This is going to go back into my safe. Let's really quickly grab my calculator and add up how much we had at the beginning of September. So we've got 206 plus 350 plus 40 plus 200 plus 40 plus 300 plus 60 plus 100 plus 220. We had 1516 at the start of the month. And we added $1,200, which is going to bring us up to $2,716 the beginning of the month. And that is what we will use throughout the month to take care of these categories. If you do not have sinking funds as part of your budget, I highly recommend that you change that. Start small. You don't have to have this many categories. I know there are some people that have way more categories than this. I know some people that just start with 1 or 2. Do what works for you, but definitely be thinking about the things that you know that are coming up in the future that you're gonna need to pay for so that they don't become an emergency for your budget. Alright friends, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. My apologies for it being so dark in here. Hopefully the sun will come out to play before my next video. If you liked this, despite the darkness, please give it a big thumbs up. That really helps out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back and check out the rest of it, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends.